At dawn, a vast, flat mirror of water stretches farther than the eye can see. An engineered reservoir the size of a small lake that held a year's food in its silence. Who built that mirror, and why did an entire civilization orient its year around it? Today, we follow those waterways to understand how the Khmer shaped land, ritual, and power.
Welcome to Ancient Echoes. I'm Sam Nang Bradley, and with me is Rachana Solve.
As we explore, we'll connect that image to the barays, canals, and moats that governed life across a broad plain. Listen closely. Water is both practical and symbolic here.
Picture a flooded plain at dawn. Mist lifts off a mirror of water. An engineered baray built centuries ago to catch the full monsoon and hold it through the dry months.
It stored food and livelihoods. It also reflected sky, gods, and kings. That double life of water, practical and cosmological, is the thread we'll follow today.
To make sense of that thread, start with the land. Angkor sits in a saucer-like plain in northwest Cambodia, with the Tonle Sap to the south, a lake-river system that breathes with the seasons. When the Mekong surges, the Tonle Sap expands, and everything downstream adjusts.
So engineers and communities didn't fight the water. They learned its timing. They captured excess, moved it, and released it at the right moment.
Archaeology shows us a planned network. Enormous barays like the East and West Baray, canals that knit villages together, and temple moats that were more than decoration. Recent mapping efforts by the Apsara Authority and researchers at the Royal University of Phnom Penh have traced those canal networks. Sediment cores taken by local teams reveal repeating flood layers that match agricultural calendars.
Those barays functioned as reservoirs, smoothing seasonal extremes so rice fields could be planned, markets could rely on surpluses, and urban centers could sustain craft specialists.
And we should be precise about how they were made. Earthen embankments, compacted clay cores in places, specially graded slopes to guide flow. Sometimes wooden sluices regulated inlets, though those perishable elements rarely survive in the archaeological record. Soil profiles show alternating flood sediment and cultivated soil, clear signs of managed seasonal flooding.
Tell me more about how that translated into a calendar for people on the ground.
Farmers timed transplanting, harvesting, and fishing around controlled releases. Imagine a family waiting to plant until a canal's flow receded, so seedlings take root rather than drown. A farmer would watch the sluice gates, the weather, and the birds. Those observations became local hydrological knowledge passed across generations.
That image of eyes on a sluice gate is a small story with big implications. It means water management wasn't only engineering, it was lived practice.
Exactly. But we also need to talk about labor and power here. Building and maintaining canals required organization across seasons and social levels. Some work seems to have been coordinated through corvée systems, labor obligations tied to the state, while other maintenance rested on reciprocal, local arrangements. Both existed.
I have to push a little. There's a risk of romanticizing community labor. Corvée could be burdensome and reflect inequality. We should hold that tension. Cooperation and obligation, side by side.
Yes, thank you for saying that. From a cultural standpoint, understanding water systems means understanding power, as well as cooperation. Temples sometimes coordinated labor and resources, and that centralization shaped who benefited most from redistributed surplus.
Still, the practical outcomes were wide. Surplus rice supported specialized craftspeople, stone carvers, lacquerers, weavers, who clustered near canals and markets. Water underwrote an urban culture.
And then there's meaning. Temples and their water bodies weren't accidental neighbors. Pools and moats created mirror surfaces that evoked the cosmic ocean, with temple mountains at the center. Ritual bathing,
festivals timed to water cycles, and iconography all interwove hydrology with cosmology.
Here's something I love. The word baray in Khmer carries more than engineering weight. It carries memory. These were social projects as much as they were technical ones.
Wait, do you mean literally neighbors working together, or the state organizing labor?
Both. On the ground, neighbors pooled knowledge and muscle. At larger scales, rulers framed construction as a cosmic act that legitimized authority. That layering, local know-how and state sponsorship, is what made large projects possible.
Technically, those layers show up in the landscape. The West Baray, for instance, reads like a man-made lake, comparable to a medium-sized modern lake near a city, while smaller canals threaded between villages. The scale difference tells you about investment and coordination.
And modern research is filling gaps. Teams at the Royal University of Phnom Penh, APSRA authority projects, and Cambodian-led conservation groups are mapping networks and testing sediments. That local leadership matters. It grounds interpretation in community priorities.
Which brings us to conservation. These features face pressures: modern development, changing agricultural practices, and climate variability. But there's hopeful work: community-based restoration of canals, participatory mapping, and documentation projects that connect elders' knowledge with scientific methods.
I love that it's both a technical puzzle and a living story. People aren't just studying ruins, they're reviving relationships with water.
The evidence shows us concrete entry points. Small repairs to sluices can change irrigation timing. Clearing choked canals can restore fish pathways. Those actions support livelihoods while honoring heritage.
Before we close, imagine this everyday scene. A farmer times transplanting, so newly planted seedlings meet a slow, steady release from a canal. Roots take hold, fields thrive, and a festival at the village temple follows the harvest. Water organizes the calendar: agricultural, ritual, social, all at once.
What this reveals is a model of resilience built from engineering, ecology, and social practice. The deeper story is adaptation across centuries, lessons that matter for communities today as they steward both livelihoods and memory.
If this episode sparked a curiosity, maybe a question about how sluices worked, or which community projects are mapping canals, share it with us. Post a photo or a thought on social media. Tag Ancient Echoes and tag me, Sam Nang Bradley. We read your messages and often build future episodes around your questions. Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
The echoes of the past live on in people's voices, memories, and everyday lives. Thank you for listening and for making space for these stories. Follow Ancient Echoes on your favorite podcast app and tag us with your questions or photos. Let's keep this conversation going.
Until next time, thank you for listening to Ancient Echoes.
In the quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree. I called upon spirits, asked them to guide, to take her heart and lead her by my side. So I drew her near, traced her brow so fair on my sight this way. Sacred power, Swahai, mighty spirit awakened. By the master's right, let her heart be gently taken. Let her follow me now by vow and by sign. I hear these words, oh teacher, witness this plea. Oh, my sacred power, Swahai.